The partial verdict in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering case. Jurors reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 counts, all but the biggest one. Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams is standing by. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
And good morning to you, George. Even the judge does not know at this point what the partial verdict is. He summoned the jury back for more deliberations today, hoping they can break a logjam over the top charge. This morning, the jurors in the Sean Combs trial ordered back to deliberations after telling the judge they were stuck. The 8-man, 4-woman jury reached a verdict on 2 counts of sex trafficking and 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. But on racketeering conspiracy, the jury wrote in a note, "We have jurors with unpersuadable opinions on both sides." Combs looked shaken, slumped in his seat, wiping his eyes as his lawyers stood around him, his children rushing back to court.
How are you doing, Judge?
The partial verdict remained under wraps. The judge told jurors, "I ask at this time that you keep deliberating." Racketeering conspiracy is punishable by up to life in prison. To convict, the jury must believe Combs led a criminal enterprise and agreed to commit at least 2 underlying crimes with an inner circle that prosecutors called his loyal lieutenants, including assistants, bodyguards, and other employees. The defense argued Combs was no racketeering kingpin, downplaying evidence about drugs, sex, and violence. This is his personal life. It's not about an enterprise. Word of the consensus on the sex trafficking counts came after jurors asked to revisit Cassie Ventura's testimony about the 2016 attack caught on hotel surveillance footage. Ventura testified she was trying to escape a freak-off that turned violent. The jury saw this selfie and a text she sent Combs. "I have a black eye and a fat lip. You are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you have done." The defense argued the video depicts domestic violence. "We own it. It happened," the defense said. "It's not sex trafficking." This jury has had trouble before. An hour after getting the case, remember, the foreman sent a note telling the judge that jurors had concerns one of them could not follow Your Honor's instructions. This time, when the judge told jurors to keep deliberating, a couple of them smirked, one nodded, as if understanding, George, it's just too soon to give up. George.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. It's been our Chief Legal Analyst, Dan Abrams, for more on this. Dan, you're not surprised this is the count they're hung up on.
No, look, this is the most serious charge. It's also the most complicated charge, but it's also the one that kind of makes the least common sense, right, in terms of this case. The sex trafficking, the transportation for the purposes of prostitution, you immediately understand at least even what the allegation is, right? When it comes to the RICO, the racketeering here, you need more than one person involved. You need more than one crime. It's complicated, and I think that they're going to continue to deliberate it now.
So what does a partial verdict, what does that suggest to you?
I think that Sean Combs' team has got to be very nervous based on these verdicts so far. Why? Because the jury has agreed unanimously to the easier charges for prosecutors to prove, to the less serious charges. They're unanimous on all of those. The one charge they're having trouble with is the most serious one, the toughest one. The Combs team would want that to be the other way around. So I think that tonight they're very nervous this morning, and they're going to wait. But remember, nothing's definite at this point. Right. The judge has not accepted any verdicts at this point. So the minute you send a jury back into that deliberation room, anything can happen.
Yeah. Dan, let's jump ahead, though. If they end up finding Diddy guilty on the 4 counts, but they can't, they're deadlocked on the last one, what does that mean for him?
So it would mean there's a conviction on the 4. It would mean that in theory, prosecutors could bring the most serious charge again. I wouldn't expect that they would. I would expect that this case would be over, but it leaves open that possibility that there could be another trial again, which I think is very unlikely.
This is just going to be ongoing. Yeah. But again, we don't know what, in the partial verdicts, we don't know what those verdicts are.
We don't know what they mean. Right. Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Dan.